Hello everyone, welcome to another topic of vitamin. So today we are going to discuss about vitamin B1. So vitamin we also know vitamin B1 is anti-beriberi vitamin or anti-neuritic vitamin. The vitamin B1 is also known as thiamine. We all know that as I have already discussed in the classification of vitamins, the vitamin B1 is water soluble vitamin. So let us discuss about various function of the vitamin B1. What are the various function of vitamin B1? So the thiamine, thiamine is vitamin B1 and the coenzyme of vitamin B1 is thiamine pyrophosphate. So this thiamine pyrophosphate, which is the coenzyme of vitamin B1, acts as several cofactor acts as cofactor for several dehydrogenase enzyme reaction. First of all, in branch chain keto acid dehydrogenases, it's help in oxidative decarboxylation of alpha keto acids, and it also acts as coenzyme for alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, which is required for oxidative decarboxylation of alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl coenzyme A in TCA cycle. It also acts as coenzyme for dehydrogenase enzyme reactions of pyruvate dehydrogenase. This pyruvate dehydrogenase links glycolysis to TCA cycle. So vitamin B1 is extremely important in carbohydrate metabolism too. So it is also used by the transketolase enzyme. The transketolase enzymes also use thiamine pyrophosphates as coenzymes. So now let us move towards the various sources of vitamin B1. Aileron, the layers of cereals, which is food grain, is rich source of vitamin B1. Parboiled rice, hen pound, unpolished rice is rich source in vitamin B1. Cereals, pulses, seeds, nuts, and yeasts are rich source of vitamin B1. The pork, liver, heart, kidney, milk is rich in vitamin B1. The polished rice, after we polish the rice, um, in the polished rice 80% of the vitamin B1 is removed because of the polishing of the industrial rice. So polishing of rice is not recommended. So now let us move to the daily recommendation of the vitamin B1. What is the daily recommendation? So the daily recommendation depends on the calorie intake, which is 0.5 mg per 1000 calories. So the daily required is 1.1 to 1.5 mg per day. What happens when there will be the deficiency of vitamin B1? Various clinical manifestation that occurs after deficiency of vitamin B1, we classify them as, or we say them as, Wernicke encephalopathy, Korsakoff syndrome, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, and beriberi. In the beriberi, there will be the dry beriberi and wet beriberi. We will discuss this in subsequent lectures. What happens is that if there is deficiency of vitamin B1, there will be the impaired glucose breakdown, because the pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme cannot work because the thiamine pyrophosphate is depleted as vitamin B1 is depleted. So ultimately the impaired glucose breakdown will lead to ATP depletion, which will be worsened by the subsequent glucose infusion. So we should always keep in mind that the person who has vitamin B1 deficiency, we should be cautious during the glucose infusion because it can precipitate Wernicke encephalopathy. First of all, it is affected in the tissue which are highly aerobic. They are brain and heart. Alcoholic or malnourished should be given thiamine before giving them dextrose, because there is always risks of precipitating the Wernicke encephalopathy. How do we diagnose the deficiency of Wernicke encephalopathy? After giving vitamin B1, the trans ketolase activity will be increased in the RBC. So that's how we diagnose the deficiency of vitamin B1. So in the vitamin B1, what we learned, that we briefly discuss about the introduction, the functions of the vitamin B1, the various sources, daily recommendation, and deficiency. What happens when there will be the deficiency of vitamin B1? As we know that vitamin B1 is water soluble vitamin, so there will be not be excess or hypervitaminosis B1 because it is water soluble and easily washed out in the urine. So the deficiency of vitamin B1 manifests as Wernicke encephalopathy, Korsakoff syndrome, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, and beriberi. We'll discuss in the subsequent lecture. Thank you.